What happened there? Well, there was a couple things that happened there. One, my father had just passed away right before that, and so that was, it is what it is, and we will all go through that. Those of us that haven't, but it was a tough time for me. And we had, I think, the pay-per-view was the day after my father's funeral, and I had to fly from Minneapolis into wherever it was, Daytona Beach, I think is where it was. But I had to fly in there, and because of that, I got in late. But it was a funeral. And I think I started getting in at 10 in the morning. I ended up getting in at 1 in the afternoon. And I had asked everyone to hold off on the production meeting until I got there, and that I would be in at approximately the time I got in. Well, I got to the building, and I walked in, and the production meeting was already taking place. That was my first red flag. And then, of course, pulled everybody out of the meeting, or Vince and everybody, and said, what are we doing here? And Vince had his idea of what he wanted to do, and I had my idea of what I wanted to do. And Hulk and I had our idea of what we wanted to do, and we'd already talked to Brad Siegel about it, and that was the way the situation, that was the process. Vince could come up with ideas, but we had to both agree, and if we didn't, then Brad Siegel was the tiebreaker. And it involved Hulk, and Hulk had creative control. So I was a little pissed off just to start off with, but I didn't sell it. I didn't show it to anybody, I don't think. And then we pulled Vince aside, and we started talking, and Hulk got involved, and Vince kind of drew a line in the sand, and I was happy that he did. And I said, okay, great. Let's go into the trailer, get on the phone, we'll call Brad Siegel, we'll see what we're going to do. Called Brad Siegel, laid everything out. Vince laid everything out. Brad said, Vince, you're going to do what Eric and Hulk want to do. And I don't remember the details of the story, so please don't ask. But it involved Hulk leaving the building with the belt.
Okay.
Because the idea, I remember specifically how it was supposed to end, but the idea was that Hulk was going to quit, leave with the belt. We were going to create we've got to create a new champion. It was going to be a heel that comes out at Halloween Havoc. And instead of having that match with the heel, that's when Hulk, the heel and whatever the babyface was, Hulk was going to go as a surprise,
right? And
we're going to do that match. So that was some version of that, more finely tuned, but that was the idea, and everybody liked that. And after having had the conflict with Vince, after having had the conference call with the president of the network, we all agreed what we were going to do. Part of that storyline was when Hulk got pissed off and left, he left the building and I left with him. And we did. And we got into a car, and then we got into a plane, a private jet, and we were flying home because we had laid everything out the way we wanted it laid out for the most part. And we did our job. Our job was to get the car and leave the building. We wanted people to believe it was real. By the time we landed in Tampa, which was about an 18-minute flight, by the time we landed, our phones were blowing up because Russo grabbed the microphone and went into business for himself, which was not a part of the script whatsoever. And then that's when the wheels completely fell off.
Do you think Hulk was right in suing?
Yeah. Yeah. If I could have, I would have.
Were you shocked when Brad didn't side with you and against Russo?
He did side with me.
Yeah, that's what